Hey, welcome to the show. I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm just Terrell. You ever been out somewhere and overheard two people having crazy conversations?
Yeah, well, we are those people. We've been having these conversations since college.
Yep, it's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts podcast, the Ultimatum Season 3, recap of episodes 3 through 5. Be sure to like, subscribe, rate, and leave a review.
All right, so yesterday we got all the way to JR's choice. Worst cliffhanger in TV history. Am I right?
Yes, because we all knew where he was going to go. It didn't matter. Why make us wait? We knew it was gonna
Why
happen.
make us wait? But they go ahead and do it. And he chooses Sandy, and Nick is immediately in his feelings, of course.
Yeah. I mean, he was going to choose Sandy because I think he's just wanting the physical. Mm-hmm. And I think that's what he can get out of that. Now, I wonder if the producers had to be like, hey, wait a minute. Arya, we need to talk to you for a second.
Yeah, because you know what? She had to be feeling like, okay, he's going to pick me because they had great chemistry. I liked JR and Arya together. They look good together, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's one of 7, she's one of 8. Mm-hmm. Had all these different things in common.
Yeah.
But he wanted to try something new.
And
different.
that he's gonna do. So he picks he picks her, and he tries to say that he wouldn't normally approach Sandy, but her demeanor and attitude is what's attractive.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Well, Sandy, of course, chooses JR too. Nick loses it, saying it's not about JR as an individual. Yeah, sure it isn't.
Yeah, y'all don't like each other. There's something that we're gonna find out at the reunion, but they don't like each other.
Then Vanessa makes things a little bit better by picking Nick, and Nick in turn picks her, and all of a sudden his attitude changes.
Yeah, now he's perked up. He's happy. He feels good. He's smiling and everything. He forgot all about Sandy for a second. Now he's focused on Vanessa.
And to your point, the producers, they went ahead, had a conversation, and Arya had to go ahead and pick
The only guy left.
yeah. The only guy left, Caleb.
Yeah.
That's it. And he's just like, all right, no, you got to take him. That's what it is. Go ahead. It's there for you. So the new couple's given engagement rings. What do you think about that?
That's different, because they're already picked out engagement rings. So there's not a whole lot of choice
No, really
in
isn't.
there. Yeah, not a whole lot of choice, but that's a little bit different than what we've seen in previous episodes or previous seasons.
Yeah, it was actually kind of interesting that they would do that too, right? I'm just kind of like, what's the deal with that? And why? Because it's not like they made them wear them. So what was the big deal in having them even get them in the first place? They say, you can take it if you want.
Right. Here you go. Parting gift.
Yeah, but to me, that just really didn't make a whole lot of sense, right? But okay,
Yeah.
whatever. Well, here it is. It's now night 1, and we got Nick and Vanessa, right?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
And Vanessa says she came to the experiment wanting to marry Dave, but she fears she might be the one to fall in love with something new. Mm-hmm. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Uh-oh, because Nick heard that and wanted to keep talking about Sandy.
Yeah.
That's all he
like-
would do. All he kept doing is talking about his ex to Vanessa. And Vanessa's thinking to herself, I'm trying to really see if there's something with someone else here. But I'll listen to you. Go ahead. Tell me more about how you're dealing with Sandy.
Yo, I don't think she could have thrown it at him any harder. Because, I mean, she's, give me a hug. And she's, the bad thing about it, and I felt sorry for her here because, she's flirting hard. He's picking up on none of it because he's so obsessed with the fact that Sandy chose JR. And she wants to like Nick so badly that everything he says, she tries to find the romance in it. Or am I seeing this wrong?
No, because he told her, I like the way you look when information leaves your face. That's so romantic. Like when the words coming out, information leaves your face, I just find it, she's looking like she's trying to see how that's a compliment. But that was cringeworthy.
And it's nuts that she's actually allowing that to be, and that's the part that irks me. The fact that she's allowing that, man. It's just like, But the reason why is because old Nick here is stuck on this couple right here, JR and Sandy. They get
Yeah.
back to the room, and JR has a plethora of things he would like to talk about. I'm BSing. He has one thing he wants to talk about.
What you look like in them jeans. Was under that
Is
skirt.
there any room
Yeah.
for me in them jeans?
That's all he wants to know. I mean, and she's flirting back with him. I think she likes it. She's let him know it's okay to sleep in the same bed,
Yeah.
with her. So he's like, well, you wifey. So we should.
Well, that was going to happen regardless.
Yeah. And she's like, do you like, because remember when Nick was asking Vanessa if she likes sage and all that? So Sandy says the same thing. Do you like sage? Because you said to like cleanse the room, even cleanse my body. And he said, you can use it to cleanse my mind because how you look in that dress. Like everything he's saying is really related to something sexual about her looks and what he wants to do with her.
We do get something besides his sexual innuendo at some point, like their real names, John Richard and Sandra.
That's the one little real thing they talk about. Producers are like, come on, guys. Seriously.
Give
Give
me
us something.
Guys, please, guys.
Can we
I
get
get
something?
we need something, so this is just not. Y'all can get to it after we leave. Next up, Arya and Caleb. Arya says she fears that Scotty and Zaina have something that she can't replicate, so she's a little nervous.
Yeah, she is. Well, she's already seen that they have no problem having physical touch, which that's not her stick. So there's that. She is super emotional for someone who did not want to get married.
Yeah.
And someone who was given the ultimatum and came onto the show. She cries at the drop of her dime. And good job to Caleb, because he's been nothing but comforting and supportive.
Yeah.
But yet she still makes Caleb sleep on the couch.
And then says she expects that Scotty would be sleeping on the couch the first night too. Like, no, y'all are the only ones doing that.
Yeah, y'all broken up.
Meanwhile, the same person she said, well, Scotty better be sleeping on the couch. Scotty is like, I'm getting into bed. Have you seen them cheeks? You see what she's wearing?
Yeah.
No, I'm getting into bed. And she's not worried about touching my hand. We're good.
Yeah. Well, she wants to sleep with a pillow on her face. So
Yeah.
there's that.
Probably because she doesn't want to look at them Ramses curls. She's like, I'm gonna wake up, you'll have two braids.
Yeah. That is weird. Don't be surprised if I sleep with a pillow on my face.
But you know
Cover
what?
it up.
People have weird sleeping habits. And it could be just from as a kid, you toss and you turn, you do different things, and you find your comfort doing different things.
Yeah, yeah.
So.
I get it. Still, it's odd. If I woke up and I see somebody next to me with a pillow over their face, I'm like, I watch a lot of Law and Order SVU. That does not sound like a good start. to
I
the
like
day.
how she prefaced it. Hey, if you wake up and you see me with a pillow in my face, I'm fine. I'm just sleeping.
Yeah, that's what you tell the judge. Your Honor, she said. Trust me,
have it
I
on
didn't
tape.
do anything. I had nothing to do with it.
What'd you think about her saying that she blocked JR so she could be a true, loyal trial wife and not text her ex?
I think it's great, but JR's not bothered. Yeah, JR's just looking at his phone, just like, man, when is Zaina gonna text me? He's good where he's at.
He's a little preoccupied at the moment.
Yeah,
Next up, Dave and Chanel. This gives homeboy, homegirl
Yeah.
vibes, right?
yeah, it does. Like total friend vibes. We're just going through the process just for this. They both talk about how they thought about leaving the experiment. At
This
some
is the
point,
second time they're having this convo.
Yeah, yeah. Both talk about how they thought about leaving the experiment. And then Dave was mad that, going back to your comment about the rings, that Nick took one of the rings with him
Yeah.
when him and Vanessa left. And so now he's all in his head about this whole thing.
And if only he knew. Because then he says, and I'm worried about him because I know, yeah, he took it, but that doesn't mean she has to accept it because she's not it. The only lucky thing for you, Dave, is the fact that Nick doesn't want your woman. Because if he wanted her, he'd have had her that night.
Yeah. Yeah.
So bad. Well, if you thought that was bad, right? This homeboy, homegirl vibes, There was one worse, and this was the most boring couple ever. Like, guys, you got to talk about something, okay? Please.
So, what's your morning routine? Well, I get up early, like about 6:30. Okay, yeah, cool.
Mm-hmm.
I like to play vinyl in the mornings. Are you okay with that? Sure, I don't mind. Okay, cool.
Can we actually use this?
What about laundry? How do you want to do that? Do you want to do your own? Do you want to just mix it? We can do our own first and see. Just okay, cool. Boring.
God.
Boring.
Cut.
It's awful.
We're done. Everybody
Awful.
pack up. We're out of here.
In fact, y'all are out. Both of y'all two get out. We
That's
can't
what
use
shoulda
any of this
happened.
footage. This is a waste.
The best and most exciting thing that happened was 3 a.m. in the morning when Micah starts texting Chanel, then dips out without telling Mariah. She hears the door close. She's like, wait, what the hell was that?
Yeah, she
Who's
comes out
sneaking
looking
up in
around
the house?
and gone.
He's gone. Then Chanel, she tries to sneak out, but Dave is like, hold up. I'm going to wait because I'm worried about Nick and my girl. So
Yeah.
she's like, oh, I'm just going out for some fresh air. He's like, well, I'm supposed to keep you safe. He didn't even try to go follow her. He's just like, I don't know if I should let you go. She's like, trust me, I'm all right.
Yeah.
Then she returns 5 hours later.
Gosh,
Did he sleep? He had to sleep, right? Because he had to be like,
Maybe she had to go to San Francisco to get that fresh air. Just took some time.
yeah, she went for a San Francisco treat. I don't think it was
Yeah.
fresh air, though.
You got some really good fresh air.
At least, though, the next day she apologized for leaving him alone, right?
She
So
did.
Did he give her points for that?
Well, it's not about giving her points because I don't think Dave cared. I mean, it's not like Dave is like like what the hell? You know, Dave's not
Good
there. All
point.
he's thinking about is Vanessa. And so he was just like, yeah, cool. I'm cool with that.
Now, next up, we get to see Vanessa and Nick, right? And the interesting thing here is that he's telling Vanessa what happened. He went out for coffee, ran into Sandy. And the way he tells the story, and she told me her and JR have already kissed. And I'm like, he's going off the edge here.
Yeah.
We haven't heard the rest of the story, but I'm already knowing this is not exactly what it is. Because he's just on and on about Sandy when there's a woman in front of him who's like, I'm here, hello.
Yeah. I really think Vanessa really wanted to see something could happen with Nick and wanted to go through this experiment with him. All he does is focus on Sandy, which is going to make it awful because you don't see her doing that to him, constantly talking about Dave. So he comes back whining. Then he's so emotional and distraught. I just need some time.
Yes.
I just need some time. No woman likes that. They're not going to like, that's not going to be attractive to her.
It's the crazy thing is because she felt so, oh my God, I found somebody who gets my quirkiness. As
Right.
quirky as me. This is Kismet. We're going to make it. And then he needs a break. So then that's the end of episode 3. We get to episode 4 and we find out the other side of the story from Sandy when she's sitting with JR and she's like, hey, I ran into Nick, explain how frustrated she is with Nick right now and the fact like, hey, you know, I did tell him that we kissed, but that's because he asked. And I said, why lie to him now when I have to tell him the truth later anyway?
Yeah, and JR looked at her like, why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Girl, what are you thinking? Now you've made it, now it's drama. Now
You wouldn't last 5 minutes in these streets.
Yeah, in the last 5 minutes straight. Loose lips sink ships.
Then we find out that Nick has just been blowing up a phone. Obviously, because you told him that you've been putting your lips on a man. So he's blowing up a phone, trying to do all the things that she says that the things that she wanted him to do before. Be attentive.
Okay, but blowing up your phone like that's not attentive. That's psychotic behavior. That's psycho stuff.
Attentive, psychotic behavior.
That's not attentive, but that's what just trips me out about these two because he's 10 years older. He should know better.
Yeah.
He's the oldest one in this group,
Yeah.
acting like the youngest one.
Now, that's true. That is very true. Interesting thing is we get to day 3 right? And Vanessa, Mariah, Chanel, and Micah have all dipped out. They's gone.
Vanessa, Dave, Micah, Chanel.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. All 4 of them have dipped out.
Absolutely right.
Like a thief of the night, which is
4 thieves in the night.
But what makes me laugh is the way they did it. It's like they're tiptoeing. It's like there's camera crews. There's cameras all around you. Mm-hmm. They know what you're doing.
Dave noticed it because he turned the camera. He was like,
okay, you're still caught. Like you're still caught. You're not faking it. But I thought that whole thing was shady because I truly think that Dave and Chanel, when she came back from sneaking out for that 5-hour fresh air, they talked about this and had this planned. And like, hey, we're gonna go because there's that thing that there's a small little clip where he says, yeah, we decided to break up after just the first couple days. I think they had planned this, and we're fine with it. Like Vanessa in on it. The one that's shady is Vanessa and Micah because I don't think that Nick and Mariah deserve that. They got ghosted in this process.
And here's the thing about this though. It's Nick's fault that this happened. To be fair, it's Nick's fault. Yes. Had Nick paid some attention to Vanessa, she did not leave because of Dave. She left because she got tired of hearing about Sandy. She was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm leaving because I don't want to hear this crap anymore. I guarantee you at the reunion, her and Dave are not together.
But isn't that rule number 1 when dating? Don't talk about Trex. Don't talk about Trex.
Yeah.
That's all he talked about. Don't talk about Trex.
Here's the interesting thing though, and there are people who will ask about the ex all the time, which is a dangerous thing to do because you think you want to know the answer,
right?
Until you hear it,
and you can't. I think it's fair if someone asks you questions, that's fair. But if you're just volunteering information about your ex, that's bad.
Very bad. Now, we get to see this interesting couple who wasn't even a couple. And it's Nick and Mariah. They meet up to talk about, being abandoned.
Yeah. Being ghosted. And it doesn't look like they're going to have a trial marriage at all. So I think the producers were trying to set that up. Hey, why don't y'all go get brunch? That's talk maybe.
What I assume was going to happen.
Yeah. But they already know. Mariah's I'm not interested at all. Mm-hmm. And Nick probably would have just to have someone to complain to and talk to about Sandy. I would love to have a roommate to talk about my ex.
So here's the thing. It's not like they have to have a connection to do this trial marriage because it's about, and if you want to deal with somebody, find out what it's like to deal with somebody irritating and feel better about your ex, then this would have been a perfect one for Mariah to be in.
You got to have a connection. That's why they do the whole week of dating. Okay. I mean, you got to have a connection. They just don't pair you up with somebody. Hey, make it work.
Yeah.
That's arranged marriage. That's not trial marriage. That's different.
It's an arranged trial marriage.
Yeah, that's different. But I notice how, Nick he's into drama, right? He loves the drama. Yeah. And so he asked, and Mariah just seems cool, calm, collected. Yeah, it was weird. He left. There was no note. Mm-hmm. I texted him to pick up dishwashing liquid. Are you going to get it? Want me to get it? Never hear from him. Yeah. And so he asked Mariah if is she ever a mess? Because she just seems so level-headed. And she's like, no. Mm-hmm. Pretty much I've dealt with a whole lot of things in my life that I just look at things from a different perspective. And I respect that. This is that maturity that she has to be so young. That Nick is lacking to be so old.
Facts. And the thing that she does do, she also admits that she's very needy in her relationship with Caleb, right? And when she makes that admission, then Nick admits that his fear is that JR gets to Sandy's heart. Because we all know he getting to something else.
Gotta start somewhere.
The way to a woman's heart is through what?
Depends, I guess. JR is going to find out. That's what it looks like.
Oh, my God. Aria and Caleb. Aria saying that this is the first time she's lived with anyone, and Caleb proves that there are nice guys out there. Is it because he's just not trying to get to her?
I think so. I mean, he's not trying to go after. If Aria is used to every guy that she's around that's trying to hit on her, trying to holler at her, Caleb is a breath of fresh air. Right. And Caleb doesn't. What I like about Caleb throughout this whole process, Mariah issued him the ultimatum. He doesn't feel like he's there to learn anything. Right. He's just there for her to go through this process, for her to realize either she wants to be with me or she doesn't. Either way it goes, I'm good. I mean, he just seems so indifferent about the whole process that, to me, he comes across looking cool.
Yeah, he really does, and it's interesting because you see that he really does love Mariah, because he's talking about Mariah has the purest love he's ever felt.
Yeah.
Then he confused me because he goes, almost like a mother's love. And I'm like,
Freudian slip?
could be.
Could be.
Speaking
be.
of slips, JR and Sandy, they go out on another date, right? And of course, bowling has to have a bet. Now, the bet is either JR prepare food for Sandy,
Yeah.
or Sandy be the food for JR. He didn't say it, but that's what you wear my shirt and nothing else.
Yeah, that's the craziest. Again, everything about JR is about something physical with Sandy. So she's like, hey, if I win, you make me dinner. Fair. And to me, he just should have said, if I win, you make me dinner.
No, he
That
said,
would have
if
been
I
the right
win,
bet.
then you are my dinner. That's what he
Yeah.
said.
I want you to wear one of my shirts and nothing else. I was
Yeah.
like, wow, really, JR? That's what you're going to say? For a PK.
Well, you know which shirt he was gonna pick, the one that he wears all the time.
Yeah, tank those little brother shirts, the small, tight ones.
Well, here's the interesting thing, because then Sandy starts asking about laundry and the things, doing things together.
Yeah.
It's like she wants to go ahead and play in his dirty drawers.
Well, she's just being a spouse, right? Like, these are some things that we got to do.
Yeah.
Tasks together. Who's going to help do laundry? Why can't we just put them together? So I feel like we can just do that.
Yeah.
She likes to share and all those things. Did you catch when he asked her about how would you feel if I broke out a scale right
Yeah.
after dinner to
Yeah.
weigh my food? And she's like, it's going to be the Sahara Desert if you do that.
Yeah, because she knew, speaking in that terminology, he would understand. That's what she knew. Here's the thing, though. That night, JR is holding up his end of the bargain, regardless that, because he lost and, fair loser. So he goes and she's actually helping him cook. And he's showing her what seasoning food means.
Yeah. He's shown a lot of seasoning. And he said that this is like her helping him cook. This is something that Zaina doesn't do for him.
Said they used to, just not anymore.
Yeah.
Not as much. They get out on the balcony having dinner out there. Everything's nice until you look over the edge and there's Nick looking up.
Creeping. Those little binoculars. Just watching you.
You do know, hey, this is not going to be good. You can tell this already, man.
Yeah.
Next up, though, Scotty and Zaina. The question comes up about her moving back to the East Coast and which she wants to, since her family's over there. She says no, to which Scotty's like, bingo, because all my family's here.
Right.
And I ain't moving.
And I want my kids to be close to my grandma and all that. So again, it's about Scotty.
It really is. The kids' convo is interesting because then Zaina, she's mentioned this before, and she wants to freeze her eggs.
Fair. Makes sense. But then Scotty says, well, it's great, but I don't want to be the old parent. So I think he's going to want kids quickly. Again, it's about Scotty.
It's about Scotty. The thing, though, that he did point out to her was that he says that he notices that she will sidestep emotional conversations with humor or by just completely changing the conversation.
Yeah.
Did you pick up on that or not?
No, I didn't pick up. What I picked up on that is a game. Because he's trying to make it sound like I know you.
Yeah.
And of course, she's eating it all up. Like, how do you, for a short period of time, how do you know me in here so quickly? And all, come on now, that's just game. And she's falling for it.
It's not just game that she's falling for. She's serving it up to fall for it. It's too easy.
Yeah.
She wants to believe it, so she's believing it. That's all there is to it. I mean, we get to week 2 with them, and they go to shoot hoops, and he shoots like he's never played before.
One person was shooting hoops. That's Zaina. Zaina was shooting hoops.
Facts. Because what he was doing,
I don't know what Scotty was doing, but Zaina was out there just killing it.
She's like, well, look, let's play questions then, because obviously you can't hit the side.
Obviously, you're not good at this.
And interesting because she makes a shot. She asks a question. She goes, "Oh, you going with a serious question? You want a serious answer?"
No, she doesn't. And she asks if you can go back in time and change anything, anything in the world. You can go back in time and change. He chooses the story about his dad, and he didn't say "I love you" to his dad the last time they talked because he had this attitude and he was young. Leaves next morning, his dad died. He'll go back and change that. Which I'm thinking to myself, okay, the way he's saying it, again, because I don't trust Scotty, I just think everything
I'm
about
about to say,
him is
just
BS.
go ahead and admit you don't like it.
Yeah, everything about him I think is BS. I think he's just saying all that to get some sympathy. But then the other thing I thought is, okay, that's great, but why not go back and save Dr. King? Why not kill Hitler? Like, what? Why would that be the thing and go back in time? That's the one thing you would do? Selfish. It's about Scotty. He could help the world, and it's about him.
You just went to a Marvel movie. What if we go back and baby Thanos just
Exactly. You save a whole bunch of people. But no, Scotty wants to take care of himself. He wants to take that one chance to go back in time, just go, "I love you too, Dad." And then that's it.
Yes.
Could have saved some people.
It's one regret.
That's not Scotty's way.
His sole regret. You just don't like him. I mean, I don't like him either, but damn.
No, I don't like him. That's what it boils down to.
Oh my God. Well, we get to see Arya and Caleb again, and Caleb sets up an intimate spa day at the crib. And as he says, he discovers that Arya has a lot more face than he does.
I don't know what all that means, but okay.
Here's the thing I noticed about this. As he's saying that, and he's putting that green stuff all over her face, putting the spinach on her face, right? I know it's not spinach. But in that moment, he has her in a position where she's very vulnerable.
Yeah.
And not only vulnerable, but open and accepting. I felt like, and tell me if I'm reading this wrong, if he had just leaned in and kissed her, she would have accepted it. She was ready for him.
I think so. I thought what Caleb did was really smooth, to be honest, because this whole time she's been thinking like friendship.
Yeah.
Right? This is all this going to be. And he's been respecting all that. But what he did is he created some space for intimacy. We see this on other reality shows where they suggest those things. He created the space for intimacy for them to have to be close, but it's not sexual.
Right.
You know, you're putting on the stuff, you're giving them the massage and all those different things. It was a nice moment for both of them. And I think that's the moment where she started to feel a little something different for Caleb than just a friendship. And I was like, good job, Caleb. That was really good.
Because even when she's using that thing on his head, and he's just like, no, a little more down the side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even making her laugh in that moment. You're right.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't like touch. She doesn't like PDA.
Right.
She doesn't like touch, just physical touch. And it's like, well, you know, smooth. That's Scotty's how you do it, right?
Yeah.
Well, JR and Sandy, they have this little pool date. And it gets a little handsy really quick. Mm-hmm. Right? And they're really flirtatious in the pool. Even talking about how each other looks, right?
Yeah, because she felt that she feels like she looks a little bit like Megan Fox. We've heard that before. And she mainly said her body-wise, not face.
Yeah.
So at least she was honest. Mm-hmm. And he said he looks like Chris Hemsworth, which, okay, that's interesting. But they have this moment, right? Mm-hmm. They're in the pool. It's really seems to be sensual, but I just get a big fake vibe. Like the whole intimacy seems fake to me. Like the way she's doing it, she might even, you almost catch her kind of looking at the camera, kind of like a little smirk. Mm-hmm. Just something about it just seems like it's fake. Like the producers are trying to get them to do it and have these kind of close, intimate moments. We've seen on many other shows where these people started to have that in the pool makeout sesh. It just seems more real. This one just seemed it was for the camera.
That's interesting because I didn't get that. I mean, I think their kisses have been very tame. Like the first kiss they had, he gave her a peck where she wanted a kiss because that was supposed to be that passionate, intimate moment.
Yeah.
They didn't. They kind of have one there at the pool, just a little bit more so. And he's like, "You taste good," and she's like, "You don't know what I taste like. You haven't tasted me yet." So he's like, "Well, let dessert be served. Let's go upstairs." And of course, the producers give us the shot, right?
Yeah.
the shot is in black and white because it's the night vision camera.
Yeah.
She's laid on the bed, still wrapped in her towel. He's standing above her, butt naked, like he just dragged her back there, but he's got his socks on. And then slowly closes the door.
Yeah. Again, I think they're setting that up to put in our head that something happened.
Yeah.
But maybe it did. Maybe it didn't.
Yeah, okay. Maybe it didn't. Okay. We get to episode 5, and Zaina and Scotty, they go to meet her friends and her sister, right? And interesting because Scotty says, and this is the thing I said from the very beginning, he's been putting down Arya from day one. And he says he spends most of his relationship with Arya trying to prove her wrong on her thoughts on men based on her past relationships because she's just so wrong.
Yeah. He constantly, you brought this up before, that he constantly finds ways to make her or try to make her look bad.
Yes.
And talk bad about her in front of other people.
Yeah.
And you're doing this to people that you just met.
Right.
It'd be one thing if you said that thing to Zaina, but one-on-one, but you're saying this to her friends and her sister that you just met.
Right.
That's messy.
And then they have some questions for him too.
Yeah. They ask him, does he see himself, could he potentially leave Arya and be with Zaina? He's like, oh, y'all trying to ask me the real questions, the serious questions. Which, again, he's just saying that when people do that, that's their way of trying to stall so they can think and come up with some BS.
Yeah, well, he had to come up with a good answer. And he did. He said, yeah, I wouldn't have chosen Zaina if I didn't think there could be something past the experiment.
Yeah. He knows how to say the right crap. That's
and so does Zaina's sister, because she goes, I love JR. And I went,
yeah.
Way to go, girl.
The sister can smell it. She's like, something.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. Something's not right about this guy.
Scotty's not only bad at basketball, he's terrible at everything, including darts. He's just like, why'd you tell me you were good at this?
He keeps losing at everything.
He's terrible.
And maybe all those losses, that's what turns him into the real Scotty.
Because we do get to see that. The next time we see them is week 3, and they're in the apartment. It's after the work day, and she's just like, Zaina's like, yeah, well, I'm about to clean up. We got some stuff. He's like, well, let's go out and do some things. And so he suggests a couple things, like the hot air balloon. She's like, hot air balloon? Nah, that's not my kind of thing. I don't want to be up there, up in the air like that. Nah. He goes, well, what about cryotherapy? And she's like, I don't even like being cold. And when she doesn't like either activity, Scotty emerges and throws a tantrum, goes, all right, no more cryotherapy talk. I'm over it. And when he did that, I was, wait, what?
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, I acted like her. Excuse me?
Yeah, that was all out the blue. And first of all, let's be honest. Those two ideas are stupid.
Terrible.
A hot air balloon, first time, no, you don't do that. That's like me saying, hey, you want to go skydiving? I like it. Let's go do it. Could be fun. Yeah. And then the cryotherapy. Have you ever done cryotherapy?
Nope.
You can't have two people in the thing. It's one person deal.
Yeah.
So it's not something you do together, and you're only in there for 2-3 minutes.
Right.
So what's the point?
Maybe that's all he needs.
When you're cold? The whole crowd there where they drop your body temp down 30 degrees. I don't think you're going to do anything in that situation. But it's just the craziest idea to have. But the fact that she's not interested in that, he gets upset about that and turns into this little baby. And then he asks her, well, I guess we have different ideas of what fun is. What does 32-year-old fun look like?
Yo, this was so petty of him. And he just went in defensive attack. It's funny because I'm saying complete opposites. Defensive attack mode. Because that's what he did. He attacked her as his defense mechanism.
Yeah.
Because his little feelings were hurt.
For nothing. And then even says that, I have a problem with rejection. And she said, you think me saying no to those two ideas, that was rejection? Yes. That's a dude that has his issues, man.
Issues, and he tells you why. Because he says he has issues with rejection because he always got validation as a kid. He was a spoiled little shit and doesn't know how to accept no as an adult. And that's a problem.
See, parents, this is what all of us in the business world are talking about when we say the young generation, when they come into the workforce. They've been given ribbons and participation trophies their whole life, told they're awesome. No one's giving them real feedback. And then when they get their first job and they get feedback, their feelings get hurt. Scotty's a prime example of that.
And then he's not even done. Wait, did you eat without me?
Yeah. How dare you eat without me?
Run.
Yeah.
This is where Zaina needs to have this conversation with Ari and say, run, girl.
Yeah.
Run.
Yeah.
I mean, because this was wild to see. And you can see the look on her face goes, who is that?
Yeah.
And that's when when you see that, when people show you who they are, believe them.
Believe them. Believe them. Every time.
JR and Sandy, JR said they're having this conversation, they're out throwing the football around. And then JR and Sandy have this conversation about social media and posting each other, posting spouses. And this is when we get into the meat and potatoes of his past relationship. Because his thing is, yeah, well, the woman can post the husband, but the husband should never post his wife. Because that works well for everybody.
Yeah. Says the fitness IG model.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to post you on my thing. You can post me on yours, let everybody know. But yeah, I'm not going to put you on mine. That's crazy. And he said he doesn't want to share phone passwords because that's how he caught his ex cheating and seeing who she was talking to. So I'm assuming maybe she was also into fitness and was a fitness person. So she had her channel and he saw people sliding her DMs.
We can also assume she was
and so
mixed.
responding. Yes. Because we know that's what she likes. That's what he likes.
And he says that he just doesn't want to know. Like, I'd rather not know. Like, if your significant other is cheating on you, would you want to know or would you want to be in the blind?
It's a tough one. I mean, you'd want to know, but then maybe you don't. I don't know. That's a tough one. Ignorance is bliss, right? So there's that. But you would kind of want to know. I don't know.
Yeah. It's an interesting one because, if you do know, then what happens?
Yeah.
Or do you know and go, okay, I'm out? Or do you know and go, we work through it? Because once you know, you can't unknow it.
True.
Well, they go and meet her family, and apparently the women in Sandy's family, they're all handsy and pretty damn forward and have no issue treating a man like a piece of meat because that's what they do to him the minute they meet him.
Yeah. They looked at him like he was a black Chippendale. Like they were excited. I'm surprised they didn't break out any ones.
Even the mom's like, no, I copped the feel.
Yeah. They were just all ooh.
Did you see him, though? He was pretty handsy under the table, sitting with them. He felt real comfortable to be grabbing and rubbing on her leg while at the
showing
table
a little
with her mama.
affection. Showing a little affection to Sandy. Mm-hmm. Rightfully so.
In front of her mama like that?
It was under the table. It wasn't like on top. It was just a hand on her thigh under the table. Nothing wrong with that. That's PG.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little thigh. I got you.
It's PG. It's under the table. It's not like blatant. It's just under the table. It's hands on the thigh. Her hand was on his. I think that's PG. I think it's fine.
Okay. Well, Nick finds out that JR met Sandy's mom.
I wonder who told.
His shit.
I wonder who told. I wonder who texted him like, so.
Just met JR.
Yeah.
Great guy. I bet you it was the sister.
Yeah, somebody had to tell.
It was the sister.
Nick loses his mind. He's calling Sandy and blowing her phone up. She answers and he's like, well, I love you. And she hangs up on him.
Did she hang up on him or did JR hang up on him?
No, I think she did.
Because JR sitting there in front of her when he goes, I'm in love with you. And JR's like...
I thought she hung up on him. No? Was I wrong?
I let us know. Because I think it was JR that hung up the first time. Then he calls back and she actually answers again. And then she hangs up the second time. But then he loses it even more. He's going stir crazy. Goes up there.
Knocks on the door. And I was like, are you kidding me? This dude is doing this? Yeah. I mean, again, he's 10 years older. And is acting so unstable right now. And I like how JR is going to do it like, what?
Yeah.
Like, you're not gonna get past JR. Like, what?
I know he doesn't have Sandy's calves, but he's still got a
Yeah.
pretty sturdy build.
Yeah, he's just like, yeah, what? No, man, leave.
Yeah.
I just want to talk to her, Sandy, and she's just standing there eating it all up because I think
Yeah.
she loves the attention.
Of course.
And then he's trying to talk Sandy into going home, and JR is like, "Look, man, you're embarrassing yourself.
Yeah.
You're embarrassing yourself. Go home."
And at least, well, the camera crew wasn't there. That's why. That's why we got the view that we got because they weren't there. Whew. That was tough, man. That was tough to watch. But at least we get a little break from them, and we get back to Arya and Caleb. And it was at this moment that I was like, take me back to Nick, JR, and Sandy, because I remember just exactly how old Arya is in this moment when she started to play Chubby Bunny. And I also realized that my idea of fun and funny would never align with hers, even when I was in my 20s. Because that was neither fun nor funny.
Yeah, I don't know if I could do that. I'd be like, no, it's not. Here, you do it. And then break out my phone. Okay, go.
Matter of fact, let's play this game with a few different alternatives. Week 3 rolls around and Arya tells Caleb that she prays that Scotty can act like him because it's week 3. That means this first trial marriage is about to be over. She's about to go back with Scotty. She's like, dear God, please make Scotty act like Caleb. And this is the moment I think she kind of realizes, yeah, it was platonic at first.
Yeah.
But
it's not going to happen. You've been dealing with someone that's kind of a narcissist, someone that gaslights you, someone that's very selfish for how many years?
Yeah.
And after a few weeks, you with Caleb, and you hope all of a sudden Scotty's going to change. He's not changing.
Yeah.
He's told you who he is.
He's told her that. But the reason why is because now she's feeling that stuff from Caleb, and she's thinking she kind of likes Caleb a little bit more. Now that connection's a little deeper. Like you said, he smoothed his way in there. Created that
he
space
did.
of intimacy. Yeah.
He did, because she said she wasn't attracted to him initially.
Yeah.
But I think she just matched up because the producer's like, hey, there's one guy left. JR picked Sandy, so you gotta do this.
Yeah.
And so Caleb's just been really chill, and I think over the course of time they've been together, she started to see what being treated well is like.
Yeah.
She started to see what being respected and valued, heard is like. And also, Caleb's just doing little fun stuff with her. It's not jumping out of, getting hot air balloons and all that. It's just, let's have a at-home spa day together. Mm-hmm. But it's fun. It's intimate without being intimate.
I wonder what it would have been like had her and JR actually done the trial marriage. Because she looked at him with some eyes like she was attracted to him. She wasn't attracted to Caleb. She became attracted to Caleb.
Yeah, well, we'd have seen Scotty knocking on their door, upset if she got with JR. We know what JR's going to do.
Yeah. JR's going to do what JR's going to do. Interesting that Caleb says he wants to make sure Mariah doesn't feel disrespected, right? And then he ends up telling us, well, technically the producers, then us, that his loyalty is to Mariah. And that's when you realize Caleb is a good dude, and he is not trying to step outside the bounds with his ex watching.
Right. 100%. Especially, she's not going through the process anymore. Mm-hmm. She's by herself. It'd be wrong on him. And he knows he doesn't have to figure anything out about himself. He knows how he feels about Mariah.
Right.
This is more for her.
Interesting thing that happens there, though, because there's a girls' night, guys' night coming up, and Arya asks Caleb how he wants her to approach girls' night. And he's like, well, what do you want to say? And she's like, well, of course, we have this great friendship, but there's also an emotional connection. And he's like, yeah, I'd kind of leave that part out.
Right. Yeah. You say, hey, I know you're going through some things in your relationship. Don't mess up mine.
And she's like, but she's going to see it anyway. Hey, woman, let me handle this.
Yeah. That gives him time. She's not going to see it for at least 4 or 5 months. That gives me time to get my story together.
Yeah.
And we're fine.
What had happened was, that's just the way they edited it, baby.
Yeah. What you didn't see is Arya drinks a lot, babe. She drinks a whole lot. You missed all that.
I was just trying to calm her down.
He pulls a Scotty. With who? Arya? I didn't do that.
Oh my God. We see Nick and Mariah again, and they're doing a boxing workout. And from the looks of this, Nick better not ever step to JR again. He can't throw a punch to save his life. Jesus.
Boxing might not be his thing, but he had to work out some of that anger. He was trying to take out his anger and frustration on the canvas. You saw the way he was painting. It was angry. Just,
angry strokes.
Yeah, so he had to take that frustration out in the boxing ring.
But here's what I do like, is when it's all said and done, he sat down and he actually told Mariah about what happened.
Yeah.
And what
He did.
I like as a viewer is her reaction, looking at him tell this story.
Yeah. She's like, yeah, you're the problem, dude. You crazy.
That's pretty much what
Yeah.
she looked at him like that. Interesting thing that happens though is they get ready for this girls' night, guys' night out, right? And it's with JR and Sandy. And the question is it a red flag, orange flag, or yellow flag that JR sees Sandy's outfit and is like, no, you can't wear that out anywhere without me. And she's like, it's a girls' night.
Red flag.
So it's a red flag that he's acting this way.
It's a red flag that she chose to wear that. That's a red flag.
Really?
Not my. I couldn't do it.
Why?
JR probably couldn't do it. I know you couldn't do it.
Do well.
No.
My woman wouldn't wear that.
Yeah, but you wouldn't be with somebody who would wear that.
My wife would not wear such a
Yeah,
thing.
but you wouldn't be with a person who would wear something like that.
In
I'm
these
not.
prime spousal years of her life.
I ain't bringing somebody out in the streets looking like no, it's just a girls' night. Okay, well, it'd be different. Y'all going to each other's house? If that's the case, why you dress like that? Are you going out to the streets? No.
What are y'all doing at that house? Do I need to come? Is there space for me? Like, what is really going on? So we get to the girls' night. And here's the thing that's interesting about this. And we'll go through the girls' night first, then we'll get to the guys' night, right? But the girls did it different. The women, I hate to say the girls' night. The women did it differently, right? Because first they all sit down together. Sandy tells everybody about Nick banging, barging into the apartment and coming up there banging on the door. And then Mariah gives her 2 cents in that. Mm-hmm. And I kind of like what she had to say because she's like, look, we've been out on activities, and here's what I think.
He's not ready. You in danger, girl.
Hey, and I like that. Not stranger danger. You know it's danger. Run.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Then this is something the women did that the guys didn't do. They went off separately, like Zanaya and Sandy. They're sitting down, and Sandy lies through her teeth.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I was not expecting that because she's just talking, JR is great. Look, we're not hooking up. We're not even dating. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to train him up so he can be better for you. Mm-hmm. What?
Yeah.
And to me, Zane is looking at her like, I don't trust any of this that you're telling me right now.
No, she knows it's a lie.
Yeah.
Because she watched their chemistry. There's nothing about them that said, let's sew and knit tonight.
Yeah.
Unless she's sewing them drawers. That's it.
And she knows her man. Zaina knows her man. And she knows what it's like if he doesn't have his medicine in 3 weeks. She knows.
It's interesting because she tries to ease her own self by saying, hey, she never hears the things from JR that she's hearing from Scotty. To which I looked dead into her eyes through the TV screen and said, and that's because Scotty's trying to get them draws.
Yeah. Scotty doesn't respect you. He's just saying whatever it takes to try to get you.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he's doing. That's why you feel so validated. He's just blowing smoke.
Mm-hmm. Arya and Mariah, they sit down, and Arya says a lot of good things about Caleb and that she's been the most vulnerable with him that she's ever been. Mm-hmm. And this is interesting because these are 2 youngest people on the show talking, the 24-year-old and the 25-year-old. Yeah. And I'm not going to lie, it definitely looked like big sis talking to little sis.
It did, and I think Mariah was processing a lot of that. And I forget, there was something that Arya said that what she thinks that Caleb really needs, and Mariah's like, yeah, I don't see it that way.
You just met him. I know him.
Yeah, I don't see it that way.
And it's interesting because I kind of like that conversation though, because it was helpful information for Mariah. Now, she may not have taken it,
right?
But what Arya told her was good info, right?
Right.
And it almost made me feel like they could be the couple that makes it out of this still. However, Arya then admits that Caleb has added some complications to the situation with Scotty because she has an emotional connection with him. And in that moment, I went, well, so much for that. Because you can see it in Mariah's face, like, excuse me?
Yeah, but Caleb hasn't said he has an emotional connection for her. And he just has a few more days, keep it PG, and he'll be back with Mariah, and he'll be fine.
Right. And that's what he's looking to do.
Yeah.
Until he finds out they had this conversation.
Yeah.
Guys night out funny because JR gets there, Caleb's there, and they have a good little dap up. Yeah, what up, homie? Yeah, man. Yeah. Then here comes Nick, and all of a sudden the energy changes. Caleb's sitting there like, what the hell just happened? Because he comes up, immediately apologizes to JR, and Caleb's just like,
right. But I respected that.
Yeah, you got
that. Nick knew he was wrong. And he just walked in and goes straight to him. And JR's just sitting there just kind of like, that look, are you about to make a move? What do I need to do? But I like that he went straight at it. Let's talk about the white elephant in the room now. Get it over with. He owned it. He was wrong. He apologized. And you got to respect that.
I do, and I like the fact that he didn't back down from it at all, right? It's just like, okay, this is what it is. I know I was wrong. I'm sorry. I'm embarrassed, blah, blah, blah. JR asked him if it's because Sandy chose him. And then he also said, you can see JR then with the upper hand again, which he had the whole time. But he's like, I lost all respect for you.
At the time when you did that.
He didn't have any for him before that. That's a lie. Yeah, he didn't lose all respect because he didn't have any for him.
Exactly.
Then Nick, of course, tries to fire back, go, hey, look, it's not just one-sided, right? She's been sending me those texts too, the missing me and all this other stuff. Then JR says a lot of things about how Sandy is with him. And that only makes Nick feel worse. He does it purposely. Yeah. And as he's doing it, you see Caleb just start to smirk like, this is great. Yeah. I'm kind of glad my girl didn't pick him.
Yeah. Caleb's not worried about any of this. He's just laughing because it's funny.
What's funny is JR is so devious, right? Because he asked Caleb how he and Arya are doing when Scotty shows up.
Right.
And it's like, you catching feelings for her?
Yeah, you catch feelings for her? He's like, no, we're doing great. Scotty, you got a really good one. That's a good one. Yeah. And Scotty's just sitting there just looking at him with this crazy, jealous look. And he's trying to let him know that, hey, I don't have any romantic thing, for her. She's a good person. And then Scotty starts to go on this little tangent. I like how Caleb was like, yeah, so that sounds like something that you and her need to talk about on your own time.
I didn't understand what happened there. Like, what the hell was Scotty doing? What was he talking about?
Nothing. He just got on this tangent about nothing.
Yeah.
But regardless, Caleb was like, yeah, that's not between you and me. That you and her should talk about that on your own time. That's not for here.
And then Scotty says that it just feels very contrived because no straight man has ever met Arya and said, we could just be friends.
Yeah. That was that's, again, another reason I don't like this guy.
Yeah.
Why would you say something like that at all? That just makes no sense to me. And just because somebody's not interested in your girl, it's possible that somebody's not interested in your girl. Like, you don't have the hottest woman in the world that every guy wants. And maybe if that's what you're going for, again, selfish Scotty, that's a you problem. That's not Caleb's or anyone else's.
And to be fair, show me the most beautiful woman in the world. I'll show you somebody who's tired of sleeping with her, right?
Yep.
Well, I mean, Caleb never did, but still, he may not have liked it. We don't know. Her breath could stink. Now, Scotty, at the same time, is like trying to talk himself up and how good him and Zanaya doing, and you can see JR just waiting to pounce, and then he does. Because Scotty's like, what we've created has nothing to do with my feelings towards you, JR.
Mm-hmm.
And JR's like, oh, really?
You sure? And Scotty's like, what? And that was JR just said, look, what's up with all this stuff you've been talking, homie? So apparently JR's hearing through the rumor mill that Scotty is saying that JR is just here for a hall pass. And that's what he's telling people. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. JR's not making himself look great by all the footage we see of him and Sandy and everything he keeps saying about her. But if Scotty is trying to say all that stuff negative about JR, that's messed up.
Yeah.
And I respect the fact that JR wouldn't say who told it to him.
Yeah.
But that's fine. But everyone else is like, I think whoever is telling you that, they're trying to manipulate you. Because he says manipulative that Scotty is doing that. Which to me, Scotty looks like the type.
Yeah.
A dude.
Okay, but Scotty did say, what do I have to gain from saying that?
Upper hand. That's what Scotty wants.
Yeah.
It's about him. He's selfish. He needs to be the one in control. He's the best person in the room. So it gives him the upper hand to say, I have options. I have Arya and now I have Zaina. I can pick who I want at the end of this deal because it's all about me.
Well, in the midst of JR defending himself, he goes, he slips up and says, he and Sandy have a real connection. And Nick goes, wait, what does that mean? Does it mean y'all sleeping together?
And he says, well, yeah, we're sleeping in the same bed, isn't everybody?
Yeah. Funniest part of that, Caleb is like, yeah, I don't think that's what he meant.
Yeah.
And Nick is like, no, that is not what I meant.
But Scotty didn't say a word because he's in the same bed with Zaina. He didn't say anything. He just looked straight.
Well, and he didn't want, let's be real, he didn't want to say the wrong thing and have JR knock his ass out.
No, he didn't want that smoke. It's like, nope, I'm going to.
And let's be fair, he's not touching Zaina after he did that crap. He pulled that cryotherapy, I'm over it crap.
If Zaina, I hope Zaina.
Yeah,
true. But then again, she's been in a relationship for 3 years. Now she's on the ultimatum. So maybe she doesn't know her worth. And she might be okay with that. Yeah.
Oh, man. Look, this is going to be interesting. We've seen the previews for the rest of the season. Do we dare make some predictions now?
We can.
Okay. So just real quick. We'll do these real quick. We'll go back to the original couples. Well, we can't go to Dave and Vanessa because they're not there. Scotty and Arya, because you know what's going to happen as we get to these next ones. They're going to go back to their old people. Do we predict now, by the end of this, that they're going to be back together? Or is she going with somebody else?
Back together, because I don't think that she doesn't come across as strong and independent enough to realize she's in a bad relationship and a bad situation.
Okay, so you say they're back together.
Yep.
I say I'm going to go the other route, and I'm going to say, no, they're not together. I mean, I get what you're saying because I think you think
Is this by the reunion, or are we talking about after the show?
At the end of the show. Well, we'll get to the reunion after the show.
Okay, at the end of the regular. Okay, got it. Yeah, so yes,
Yeah.
they're going to be together. I still predict that.
Caleb and Mariah.
I think they'll be back together.
You think so?
Yeah, I think Mariah has a new outlook on Caleb now because she had a lot of time to be by herself.
I'm going to say
somebody run out on her in the middle of the night.
You mean everybody doesn't want this?
Yeah.
I say no because I think she won't let the emotional connection. He knows her. Now, can he talk his way back in? Possibly. I'm just going to go on the opposite side and go no. I don't think they make it out of this one. Right?
Yeah, she's 24. She'll hold on.
Nick and Sandy.
Yes.
Yeah.
They'll be together because they both like. They toxic.
Like toxic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. I think so too. I think they deal with toxic very well, and they're gonna be fine.
I mean, they're the one that went to the adult sex show. Remember?
That's right. They did
the orgy. Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Yeah.
She put it in one time, and he'll be fine.
Yeah.
JR and Zaina.
I'm gonna predict no.
Really?
Yeah.
I think they will. I think she's gonna be right there with him. Unfortunately, I think she will. You're saying no because now by the reunion, after she sees him knocking Sandy down and realize Sandy lied, no. But at the end of the show, I think they're back together.
Well, we saw in the previews, right, where she says that, "Oh, y'all kissed" or something like that. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I think she's gonna realize that he's probably not the right one.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out. So we're back with this. Make sure to do us a favor. Hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Find out when we get to the next episodes because there's what? I think it's going to be 6, 7, and 8 next. So.
Yeah.
A lot to get to, man.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Yanni Rude.
And I'm Just Terrell.
Make sure you follow us at Yanni Rude, at Just Terrell, and at RGRT Pod.
Yeah, send us some of your random thoughts on some of the bullshit found on the internet. We'll talk about it on the show.
It's the Regular Guys Random Thoughts Podcast. Cheers.